right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. Welcome back. We are done with week one. But first, I would like to, since I'm a New York Jets fan, Dylan, you got to give me the floor for a few minutes. I just got to get into what happened last night. Aaron Rodgers out for the season, tore his Achilles tendon. I'm deflated. I'm sure all Jets fans are deflated. I have mixed emotions. I'm sure all the Jets fans have mixed emotions because we came back and won last night with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson now beats Josh Allen twice, but I still don't know what to make of it. We've waited 6 months for this, all the Super Bowl aspirations and the hype and just walking because I was there last night. Because we're filming this Tuesday, by the way, because I know we post Thursday. But I was walking down the tunnel and just seeing everyone, just the atmosphere. I've never been to an atmosphere like that in a Jets game before. The stadium was packed. The lights were going off, and people were just screaming. And then Rodgers comes out for the first drive, and everyone's like, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. All for this to come crashing down in 4 plays. It was 9-11. He came out with the flag, low-fiving the teammates. Everyone was fired up. And in 4 plays, he dropped back 3 times, was pressured all 3 times. And the 4th time, apparently, Dwayne Brown went to make a cut block. And he didn't make a good attempt at the cut block. I've seen cut blocks before. It was not a great attempt at it. And, Rodgers missed 2 open receivers. It was supposed to be a quick release. He didn't get it out quick enough. And, things happen. I get injuries happen. This just comes down to... I would just like to say I do feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I feel bad for all Jets fans, including myself. But, I feel bad for NFL fans in general because, they were kind of robbed of this. This was a great storyline. Aaron Rodgers in New York, what's going to happen? And now we may never see it. He might retire. But, honestly, this is what happens when you don't get the quarterback right in the draft. They missed on Zach Wilson. They wouldn't have had to even get Aaron Rodgers if Zach Wilson was the guy last season. But it came to this, and then another mistake is you relied on a 40-year-old quarterback with a makeshift offensive line. That in itself, you kind of were setting yourself up for failure. And I think deep down we all knew this could happen, but did we think it was going to happen after 4 plays? Probably not. So many things I want to get into here, but just to we're on a time constraint. I know I just feel for my Jet fans right now. I know the feeling there, and it's I know some people are probably laughing at us because we were talking a lot of smack in the offseason. We just never had a quarterback like that before, and now we're going to continue not to have a quarterback like this now. I mean, we're playing with Zach Wilson. By halftime, I was deflated. The whole stadium was deflated. We thought it was over, but then something happened. The defense just didn't give up. They just kept clawing away. Garrett Wilson makes a great touchdown catch, probably one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
It wasn't really a good throw either.
It wasn't a good throw, and that's the thing. Zach Wilson still struggled. He showed a lot of what he was last year, but still, somehow the Jets keep chipping away. Josh Allen helped with that, but we'll get into that later. The Jets, all of a sudden, they tie it up. They take the lead, and all of a sudden, this is a legitimate football game. And then the Bills kicking the field goal to tie the game at the end and doinking it off the post. This was just a crazy game all around. And then, the Jets, the Bills get the ball, and then the Jets get a 3 and out. So the defense was just studs all night. And then Xavier Gibson, undrafted rookie, takes it to the house on a punt return. Jets win. Just a great,
Yeah, you don't even know what to make of that.
If this was scripted, this was a great script.
Yeah.
This was a great script. But, just a few more things I want to get into, Dylan, and I'll let you take the floor on this. A couple things I learned from last night. We have a Super Bowl caliber defense. I didn't learn that. I already knew that. I also know that Breece Hall's still electric. Absolutely. I mean, just look. They called up to him, but he doesn't have all his stamina back yet. He's recovering from the injury. The fact that he was even the way to break away like that when he just came back from ACL surgery was pretty crazy in itself. 3, we have the right head coach. The rally these guys at halftime. After Aaron Rodgers, you lose him after 4 snaps, and they come back down from 10 against Buffalo, and they beat them. I mean, I think we have the right head coach here in New York. What kind of sucks is I'm a little mad that they won it away because it just shows even more that you had all the players, maybe not the line, but you had all the players and you just needed a competent quarterback play. And now again, we're going to be stuck with Zach Wilson. And you want to know what? I know one thing for sure. I know what Zach Wilson is, and he's not good. Okay? We saw it last night. We saw it last season. Zach Wilson's not good. I don't want to hear it. He's not able to make quick NFL reads. He threw it. He didn't even see Matt Milano going over the middle. Like, he eyes one defender, and then the defenders creep over, and then they pick him off. It's just the same stuff with him. And if the Jets, I'll tell you what's the Jets' future, Dylan? This season,
They could win some playoff games.
No, I don't think they're making the playoffs with Zach Wilson. What I think they need to do is they need to go out and get a veteran quarterback, a game manager. Can Zach be a game manager? Maybe. But a game manager also scores touchdowns once in a while, okay? That throw to Garrett Wilson was lucky. It was supposed to be a back shoulder throw. He threw it on the front shoulder. They're not going to... Look, if you guys think they're going to make a run with Zach, stop. We already know what this is. I was a Zach defender last season. I don't want to hear this. I'm not going to entertain it. We're not going to make... We might win 7-8 games with Zach, maybe fight for a playoff spot, but we're not going anywhere with Zach. I'll throw out some names right now. Okay, I got a few names, Dylan, and then this is my last point. Okay, then I'll let you start. I know you probably have a lot to say about the Giants. So let me get this. I'm almost there. Let me get this off my chest. So let me name some free agents for you that you can go out and get. Not free agents, but just some veteran quarterbacks. Free agency, some of them on teams right now. The number one guy that they should be looking into right now, other than Tom Brady, which will never happen, Gardner Minshew. Okay, the Colts already set on Anthony Richardson. The whole season is going to be based on the development of Anthony Richardson. People are going to be like, oh, what if Anthony Richardson gets hurt? They're not going to make the playoffs, and they know that. If Anthony Richardson gets hurt, that's it. They're screwed. They want to develop Anthony Richardson. So wouldn't you want a draft pick to support Anthony Richardson? What if you offer a 2 or a 3 for Gardner Minshew? You'd have to take that. Would you only get him for a few million? So it makes a lot of sense. And Gardner Minshew has a moxie to him. He has some upside, and I just think that would be a perfect fit for this team right now. He can move a little bit. He's got some kind of poise to him. He's got great pocket presence. What do you think about Gardner Minshew?
I think he would be a good fit. I think you're completely right on that one. I don't think Colts would be giving up much getting rid of him. That was a very good point you made. Honestly, you were right on the head with everything in there. I have nothing else to say. Yeah, Gardner Minshew is a good. It's just really upsetting because it's hard to throw any quarterback in there when the line is just completely just gonna fall apart. That's why you need somebody mobile.
Right. So. And even if they asked Tom Brady, he wouldn't come back for this line.
You think he would hurt himself going back?
No,
that line?
He's living the good life.
Maybe like the 49ers or something, but like...
Yeah, right. Exactly. That was the one team probably.
Yeah.
But number two, this one's probably will be a little harder to accomplish, but Andy Dalton, look, he makes the throws. He was a little underrated last year on the Saints. He had a decent season. He's sitting behind Bryce Young right now. The Panthers might want to keep him after Bryce Young, so Jets might not be able to pry him away, but the Panthers would also benefit for getting a draft pick for nothing. Basically a couple million for Andy Dalton. So I don't think they'll do it, but I think that would go very well with the Jets. He's a distributor. You just need someone to get the ball to your playmakers.
He performed when he had to come in for.
He had a few games.
Dak.
And
sure.
On the Cowboys. And last season on the Saints, he made a few plays. He basically played the whole season. He had a couple games where he played really good.
Promise for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Another person. Well, this guy's not a former Saint. He's on the Saints, and this one's a little iffy. But Jameis Winston, his upside's very high. He turns the ball over a lot, but he's got a lot. Look, am I grasping at straws here? I don't know. I'm just throwing options out there. These are probably the best options I think are out there. Winston has some good upside. They have Derek Carr. They like Derek Carr. They might be able to be like, hey, we can get some value for this guy. So I don't know. Am I crazy? Maybe. But,
you know who reached out to the Jets? Colin Kaepernick.
Oh,
how do you feel about him?
That guy's got to let it go, man. He's just too old at this point.
No, I get that, but it would kind of be a good fit as well. Like, I know you don't want to see it, but he's a running quarterback.
Yeah, but he's old now and he hasn't played in so long. How would he even?
Yeah. But who knows? He might be throwing the old pigskin around in the backyard.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think he's just trying to make his way back.
Yeah. I can't believe he even contacted them.
No, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
when I heard that, I was kind of shocked.
I'm sure the Jets
I'm sure the NFL commissioner's like, no, do not let him back.
I'm sure the Jets weren't even interested to begin with. But so Gardner Minshew definitely my number one. Dalton's up there. Jameis Winston's kind of grasping at straws. And then number 4, this one people might find me crazy. This might be the most realistic option because he's a free agent. And I know you're already giving me a look. Look, Carson Wentz makes some plays sometimes. I get that he's a bad locker room guy and that he turns the ball over too much. But he's had some moments. On the Eagles, he was almost going to be MVP till he got hurt, and that kind of changed his career a little bit. On the Colts, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. You put that on the Jets might win the division. So all you got to do is reel in the turnovers. I don't know if that's possible with Carson Wentz, but you got some upside with Carson Wentz, and he can move. So he'll be able to move out of the pocket, get away from the pressure. Carson Wentz, he was also the number 2 overall pick, also like Zach, but he showed way more promise in this league than Zach. I'll tell you right now, Carson Wentz is better than Zach. So that's my 4 right now. And all 4 of those guys I would take over Zach right now. I know they're going to give Zach 3 to 4 games because
you got one more.
Well, you got to bring someone in. Oh, I'm missing someone. Oh wait, I got to hear this. Who are you thinking?
Zach Wilson.
That's who this is probably.
Listen. I know. Listen, it's really upsetting what happened, but you got to realize even Staley's was saying, he's light years ahead of what he used to be last year. Just being behind Aaron Rodgers in that small time, and if for some reason Aaron Rodgers wants to stay and just coach him and maybe come back next year, why not? Why not? Give him a chance. Let him do his thing. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is really committed to this, I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he was devastated from this. I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're going to find out in a couple of days what's actually happening with that. I think we're all curious.
There's 2 positives to take out of this injury. 1, you get your first round pick.
Yes, you got to give up a
2,
second.
remember, this is Zach Wilson's 3rd season. After this season, going to his 4th, you got to decide on his 5th-year option. You'll know what he is now after this year. And I know he's going to get 3 to 4 games regardless because you got to bring a guy in. He's got to learn the plays, the system. So regardless, Zach's going to stay. I heard they've been in talks with Chad Henne. That's a good backup, but that's not. See, they're just trying to get people not to beat out Zach, just to give Zach confidence.
Too.
Heineke was thrown out there too. I'm a little iffy on Heineke. He's okay, but then he's limited. But with the Jets O-line, he'd be able to move a little bit, I guess. But this can't last the rest of the season for me. I know what Zach is. He showed it again. To me, he showed it again last night. What he's been all of last year, all of the year before that. He doesn't make quick decisions, quick enough decisions. And the line breaks down too fast for him too. Maybe if he had some time in the pocket, but the line's another problem. The fact that we thought that this line was going to hold up for a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, it was kind of a little delusional now thinking about it. And it's kind of sad. I was kind of very depressed all day. I'll ask one more question on this, and then we can move on. Do you think he's going to retire?
I don't want to tell you because you might get upset, but I just can't see somebody like this coming back after, Achilles is a year, and you come back, but at his age, he might just be, does he really want to keep on going through it? Does he want to go through all the rehab,
especially at 40? It's harder to come back at 40.
No, it is. That's what I'm trying to get at, but I would hope so. Maybe he just stays around the facility, see how he feels, plays it out. Takes it one day at a time.
I don't have an answer. I don't know right now.
I don't know.
But also one more thing. If he he made his guaranteed money. Zach's starting. I get injured, devastating injury, and I'm about to start on a new team. All this hype, I get injured. I'm done for the season. When you want to go back home to Cali, you think he's gonna stick around and help call plays to Zach? Rodgers is known to when things go wrong to flake and just run away, and I could see that happening here again. I don't know if he's really a changed man. We're about to find out. So is he gonna help Zach, or is he just gonna go back home? And I would totally understand if he just wanted to go home and process this for a little bit. But the Jets, these next 5 games are make or break for the Jets. Eagles, Chiefs, Patriots, Cowboys next week.
Oh my God.
We'll get into that, but I think they're gonna get demolished next week.
Don't even get me started. Let's actually go to the other team now because they did not look too good. I think that's a little positive on your end.
So I'll let you 40-0 Giants lost to the Dallas Cowboys at Giants were home. I'll give the floor for you for a few minutes. I won't even interrupt. Go ahead.
It's so disappointing. I don't know what's worse, losing your star quarterback that you just got, or losing 0-40 after you think you're gonna come in and open a can of whoop. It's really disappointing. I have nothing to say. I don't know what looked worse, just Daniel Jones just not hitting any of his targets, or just the line, the same thing, collapsing. There was people on him, literally, after the play was snapped, no more than 2 seconds, he was getting sacked. The linemen weren't even trying. They couldn't even keep up with them. They had they pulled the lineman, and by the time he's there, he's already getting sacked. It's ridiculous. I don't know if it was the weather. It was completely pouring. I've never seen rain this bad. I don't even know why they were allowed to play. But yeah, I halfway through, I literally just had to turn it off. I couldn't just keep on watching my team getting devoured, I don't know what to make of it. I mean, obviously, Darren Waller still looked really good, like he did have like a few catches, but I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if it's just our team being so terrible or just is Dallas making that big leap, Are they really it, Their defense is really good.
It's looking like they might be the best defense in the league.
Yes. So I don't know what to make of this, I think we just need one more week to really see if they could have a bounce back week. We're playing the Cardinals, so this would be the perfect bounce back week.
Perfect.
Hopefully, we could give them what we got. Hopefully we can whip them 40-0. I doubt that's going to happen, but the Cardinals did look good too. So you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you. I don't know what to make of this. I was same situation. I was very depressed. I didn't even. I didn't want to talk about this.
So, it's funny because going into yesterday, like Monday morning, I didn't think it was possible for the Giants to have more hope after this week than the Jets. But somehow the Giants still have more hope than this week than the Jets. You got your quarterback.
It's hard to see that
You
now,
had a bad loss, but it's a new week. You have a long season to go. The Giants are still very well to be in the playoffs. Nothing's changed for you guys. You're still got your team together. You just got to learn. You got to put your pieces around them the right way. Like Brian Dable, it wasn't a good game plan. They didn't adjust well. Some bad play calls. There was a third down where Daniel Jones just ran right, and they thought he was going to get the edge over their speedy linebackers. Like, come on, that was just bad play calling. It seems like they weren't really prepared for this.
They underestimated their defense.
Yeah,
everyone did.
And we knew they had a turnover. Like we knew Dallas had a defense that created a lot of turnovers. But we didn't think it was going to be this good. We knew it was top 5, but not top 2, and they're not 2. The Niners defense is also
they're up there now.
They're top 2.
I want to see. That's a really interesting team to watch now. The Cowboys. Unbiasedly, like I think they're going to be a really good team.
And another main concern again, the Giants' offensive line, just like the Jets.
Yeah.
And Dan Jones, couldn't you even blame him? He was just running around for his life back there.
The only saving grace is he's a running quarterback, so
he ran for some first downs.
Exactly. The first drive, I had hope. I'm like, okay, we got this. We're looking really good, and then one thing after the other.
It piled up, yeah. I felt the momentum shift once the block field goal for a touchdown, but then I really felt the shift on that pick 6 where Barkley got hit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so, and it's kind of, it's like, let me ask you something, Dylan. I think I know the answer to this, but I want to confirm. It might have been 1 or 2. Did any Giants wide receivers get a catch? Because Hyatt had a drop.
No, Barkley caught the ball
and
a
Waller.
few times. Well, yeah.
What about your wide receivers? None. You drafted Hyatt.
I mean, I stopped watching, honestly. I could not watch.
Yeah,
it was
you drafted Hyatt.
Terrible.
You signed Paris Campbell. You brought back Shepard. You drafted Wandale 2 years ago. You had some pieces, and I didn't see any of them really in action. I don't know if they got flustered because they got down so quick, so they felt like they had a.
Yeah, man. It was the rain, the atmosphere. It felt like the Cowboys were home. It was crazy. They came in.
Well, it's kind of almost like every stadium feels like Dallas home because their fans travel like crazy and they're psychopaths. But it was disappointing, and we both got that one wrong. We got laughed at a little bit in the comments on some videos.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, that we were dead wrong.
Yeah,
wrong.
No, it was shocking. It really was shocking. I don't think I thought it was gonna be close. Even if there was a 2-touchdown game where it's like, okay, the Giants kind of got outplayed here. No one expected 40-0.
So I walked away at halftime, and I'm like, okay. I woke up next morning, like maybe they scored a touchdown. Maybe they got 40-0. No way, bro. Thank God I walked away. I would have been miserable if I kept watching.
It was so bad that Cooper Rush came in. And Tyrod Taylor came in too.
Oh my God!
That's how you know. But moving on, I think the Giants will win. We'll get into next week, but they'll improve next week. And Dallas is playing the Jets, so
okay.
Good luck, New York Jets.
Yes, it's been a rough week for New York. I will say
100%. Now the Thursday night game, the Lions Chiefs. You got this one right.
Yeah,
I got
it
wrong.
What did I say? I knew my son Amon-Ra St. Brown would pull through, and he did. He was a star stud last Thursday.
Yeah, he had a good game.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He went off. I think he's going to be the next up wide receiver for sure. And I don't know really what to make with this in the Chiefs situation. Do they really need Travis Kelce that bit? I've never seen the team just completely turn around without one key player. I mean, obviously Chris Jones wasn't there. That's probably the big reason why they gave him that contract. Be like, okay, well, I think we really need him on our team, so let's give him a nice little contract. So he got an extension on his contract. I don't know the details of that, but he definitely got paid.
Yeah, he got more than. But the thing is, he got fined and he basically got that money back in the contract. It was weird. He kind of got screwed a little bit by his agent. But anyway, to me, it's crazy because I think Dan Campbell's a little crazy for doing that fake punt in the beginning of the game. But it set the momentum for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
it set the tone.
If there's one coach that's going to do it, it's Dan Campbell. You know, they've always been their risky callers. You know,
yeah, the Lions have a formula. You know, they're aggressive. They like to run the football.
They like to go for it on fourth down.
And they like to go for it on fourth down. And they like to develop the play action off that run. So
yeah,
that's what they like to do with Goff.
You know, we really didn't know what the backs were going to be after getting rid of Jamal Williams
and Swift. But Gibbs looks elusive and quick.
Dude, Gibbs looked like an upgraded Swift.
He was because he's younger than Swift, and he's probably not going to get injured like Swift.
And Montgomery, like he's just as underrated.
He's very underrated. We've slept on him in the offseason.
Absolutely.
That was a big signing for the Panthers because he consistently gets 4 or 5 yards, battling for yards. And they had a questionable fourth down at the end of the game where I just felt like they should have handed it off to Montgomery, but they went to pass. Remember, they got deflected, and then the Chiefs got the ball back, and then they had a stupid fourth down. But
what the hell was that?
So we'll get into that in a second. But first, you know, the Chiefs secondary looked kind of bad. The D line created pressure though, so overall the unit was okay. The secondary improved as the game went on. Mahomes, see, it's weird because the Chiefs' offense technically outscored the Lions' offense 21-14, but that pick six that went through Tony's hands made the difference. The wide receivers ruined the game for Patrick Mahomes, okay? Yeah, 3 drops from Tony, 2 from Sky Moore. It was a disaster, and, you know, at some point, you got to, like, make some plays. And, like, if Tony caught that pass over the middle at the end of the game, the Chiefs would have kicked the field goal and won the game. And then they decided to go for it in 4th and 25. Like
that was bizarre.
4th and 25.
Blew my mind.
4th and 25, 3 timeouts left, and they get the 2-minute warning. What were they I guess they didn't trust their defense at that point because they probably didn't trust their run defense because they were running the ball down their throats a little bit. There was a little point in the middle of the game where the running game for the Lions started to lag a little bit, and Goff kind of shows when he doesn't have that running game he could struggle, but he picked it up at the end because the running game picked it up at the end. And when Goff has that play action, he can put up numbers. So
I don't know if it's just because he had that run game. I really think
he made some really good throws.
No, he did
on 3rd and 12. He made a big throw. Yeah.
He's really stepped up with this whole line organization. You know, I think I've said it before. I think they're next up, and if Goff could take that step, I think this whole organization could take this step as well.
And I do think they're going to win the division still. But, you know, I thought they were going to be a top 5 offense, and they only scored 14 points. Maybe that improves as it goes on. You know, they didn't play at all in the preseason. I'm starting to pivot a little in the preseason. A lot of teams looked rusty in week 1. Maybe they should play a drive or 2. I don't know. We'll get into that next preseason. We got a lot of actual football to talk about. Yeah. So I was wrong on that. You were right. So that was your first win of the season, and that was my first loss of the season. So now we'll get into Bears-Packers, and boy, were we both wrong on this one. You know, Jordan Love looked competent. He looked good. He looked pretty good.
Jordan Love looked good.
Yeah. Yes. Justin Fields, on the other hand, again, running for his life, though. You know, once again, the line.
He's good at that, but it's just
he can't do that for the whole game. You need, and like. It looked like Claypool wasn't even trying out there. He was half-assing some blocks. You know, DJ Moore barely got involved. Did he even have a catch?
He had 2 catches.
Mooney made some plays, but other than that, not what I expected from that offense at all. Is this what the Bears are? Were they overhyped?
No, I think they might just be a little sluggish game 1. You know, I would give them one more week. I really would.
I'm not ready to give up on them.
I'm not jumping to conclusions yet. I need to see more.
I'm not ready to give up on them, but maybe they're not a playoff team like I thought they might be.
Is it that, or are the Packers really good? Because they really showed a lot of promise.
Good point.
You know?
And now
Jordan Love had a lot of good throws. You know, I liked what I see from him.
So it's a little weird because Jordan Love, he had like 7 passes behind the line of scrimmage. I think he was 1 for 4 on 20-plus yard throws. But he has the talent around him, and he made the plays he had to make in the game. And he looked pretty smooth. Like, he looked calm and collected like a veteran quarterback. So maybe sitting for a few years helped him out. He looked like, all he's got to do is be, okay. And I think the Packers could be in the playoffs. Maybe the Packers fans should have higher hopes than I was expecting for them. And maybe the Packers and the Bears aren't neck and neck. Maybe the Packers are way better than the Bears. Aaron Jones looks really good still. Mm-hmm. He was a star.
And we were just talking about the Lions, too, so we really don't know what it's going to line out to be.
No, so... But
I don't know. Who do you have? The Lions or the Packers?
But Lions, probably.
Lions,
but the Packers are probably a step below.
But I need to see them in one more game, Like we really don't know if it's going to be, if it's just the Bears just being terrible or the Packers really taking a step up. But
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the Packers may be a little better than we thought, and the Bears are a little worse. Mm-hmm. But I thought they were neck and neck. Maybe the Packers have a step or two on them. So we were both wrong about that one. So the Bucs and Vikings. Boy, were we wrong about this one too. I was impressed.
I was dead wrong.
I think the Bucs are a lot better than both of us thought they were going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they're going to be in the Caleb Williams Sweet 6 at all. Will they make the playoffs? Probably not. But they're going to be maybe 7-win team, which is not bad for what I was expecting for them.
No, yeah. But the Baker Mayfield really
he started off slow, but he made a lot of good throws at the last couple drives.
Yeah, no, he was slinging it, man. And
at the end, he was, yes.
I don't, should we give him another couple weeks, mid-season before we really say he's good?
Well, week 1, we overreact on everything. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Good point. But I don't know. I feel like he just has that reputation. Starting off really good and then just falling off the cliff.
Right. No, he does do that. But, the Vikings offense did not look that good at all. I think, there's a couple silly just turnovers and Kirk Cousins looked a little off. And like you said,
you don't have Cook behind you now.
Yeah, and are the Vikings going to take a slight step back? I think we both thought they were. It's starting to look like it. The fact that the Bucs won, I thought the Vikings were a class above the Bucs, but maybe not. Maybe they're both just average teams. So like I said, the Vikings weren't going to be 11-0 one-score games again. And I think the Bucs took care of this game. I think it ended up being more than one score, but I was shocked at this, Dylan. I'm very impressed by the Bucs.
Yeah, I think the Bucs are definitely going to take a step up, and they're going to be a competitive team, and it's going to be a hard team to verse. They're going to be very competitive.
And it's funny because I'll actually get into divisional standings later, but I thought the Bucs were going to be the last in the NFC South with the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, but they might end up being as high as second. But we'll see. We got a long way to go. For sure.
Not too good of a division, but,
No, it's not. But a couple teams are a little better than I thought they were, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers seem worse.
Well, no, I think the Saints are definitely taking that. Derek Carr, we're going to get into that one.
Yeah, we will. We'll get to that. So this, to me, was the game of the week. The Chargers and the Dolphins, and I was right and you were wrong. Okay, let me start with this one. I'm ready to say this now. Dolphins have the best offense in the league. Tua has proven that he's a legitimate quarterback.
For you to say that means a lot.
Tua has proven that he's legit. Look, he's top 10 in my opinion. Tyreek Hill had himself a day.
A day?
Career game. You can't stop this offense. You cannot stop it. Brandon Staley on the Chargers is a defensive head coach, and his defense sucks every year. You got to get rid of this guy after the season. Promote Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator you just added. The Chargers had a field day too on offense, but Miami made the stops when they had to. Chargers didn't. It comes down to that. So Tua he's taking Tua. I was wrong about Tua. When he has some pulling pieces around him, he looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know if you need Waddle at this point. They
barely get him the ball.
Tyreek Hill did his thing all day. Every other play was him running over the middle, just hitting him. They're wide
always
open.
Doing these crosses, and they're always wide open. Yeah, and they alternate between Hill and Waddle. Actually, matter of fact, they barely even got Waddle the ball. It was just a Tyreek Hill show. Wow.
And I think they really proved, we do not need Dalvin Cook. They could do it. They did it just fine with Mostert.
Yeah. And
I think they're just fine. I don't think they need any more pieces. That's definitely the next team up.
And now with the developing situation with the Jets and how terrible the Bills were, they're probably going to win the AFC East.
By a mile.
And actually, before we go on to our next topic, what we didn't even talk about how bad Josh Allen was.
Oh no, that's what I want to get into as well. Yeah, he did not look. Whitehead had himself three
interceptions. Two of them were just he just threw it up. And Diggs wasn't even anywhere near.
Screw it.
And Diggs wasn't even down there. Diggs wasn't even anywhere near the ball. And it's just you're a top 3 quarterback in the league, and why are you making throws like that? All they had to do was not turn the ball over, and they would have won that game.
And there's interceptions that he threw that he had other open receivers.
And I've asked the first ever episode of the podcast, I asked this question. What is Josh Allen without Brian Daboll? Now we have numbers on him without Brian Daboll, and it's not looking good for him. Bills are definitely taking a step back this year. I had Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. Now I have Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, Jets for the division.
Literally,
Completely different after
in
week
one game, the whole thing switches around.
Completely different than week 1. Dolphins are running away with this division for sure. I just wanted to talk about Josh Allen for a bit because it's like, do you think is this what Josh Allen is now, Dylan, or is this a phase?
You could just tell his facial expressions. He just wasn't in that game at all.
No,
it was embarrassing. Like I don't know if he just wasn't trying.
I don't know if he wasn't in the game. I know what you mean. Like he just his body language wasn't great.
Yeah, no. It's funny. Whitehead literally hit his incentives in one day too. It's pretty funny.
I don't even think he had 3 interceptions ever in a season, let alone one game.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure he was real happy about that one. That's something to be happy about too.
That's a career game for sure. And like the Jets defense was great, but I just brought up that point to just say Josh Allen looks like he's taking a step back. So I think that opens the door for Miami now. Miami is definitely going to make the playoffs. I think they're definitely going to win the division.
And I don't know about the Patriots either. The Patriots might be stepping up above you guys too.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I just said the Jets are going to finish last now, unless they go get some kind of veteran, they're going to finish last with Zach Wilson. Patriots are going to beat the Jets twice because they did last year. It's the same team. It's the same team. If anything, you have less receivers now because you got rid of Elijah Moore. You brought on Lazard, but then Corey Davis
and Cobbs.
Yeah, but Cobb, what is Cobb? Cobb's only there because of Rodgers. Corey Davis retired, and you trade Denzel Mims. So if anything, you have less wide receiver depth. Yeah, you add a running back, but I'm starting to get into the Jets again. Let's move on. Titans, Saints. You got this right. You picked the Saints. I picked the Titans. I thought, the coaching mismatch would come in my favor, but it looks like Ryan Tannehill is shot.
Sucks.
Looks like Ryan Tannehill is shot, Dylan.
Shot, sucks, whatever you want to call it.
What was it? 3 interceptions. He made bad throws. He made dumb throws. He made untimely throws. He was just awful.
Couldn't move in the pocket.
I think he's done. He's done. That's what it looked like. I don't know if it was.
I don't know how much more talent you need to bring to the Titans before they say, okay, maybe we need a new quarterback and not more receivers, not another running back. Like you gotta have all the pieces there.
Well, they drafted Will Levis, but it looks like he's not ready yet. I don't know if they thought Tannehill was just better at this moment, but I don't. Maybe we gotta see one more week of it. But
I've seen enough of Tannehill.
Yeah. I don't want to get too much into this game because it's a little boring. But Derek Carr
looked great. I loved what I saw from him.
One thing I will critique on the Saints is they got to get better in the red zone. I think they struggled a little bit in the red zone. They weren't able to produce a lot of touchdowns. They only scored 16 points. But Carr did throw for over 300 yards. So, they got the win. I think they'll win the division. They'll be fine. But, they got to get better in the red zone.
Yeah. Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah.
Rashid
Shaheed.
Rashid.
Yeah,
he was non-existent 2 years ago.
He's a
not
playmaker.
Even on fantasy, and now
he's a legit playmaker.
He is absolutely. He is. 2 touchdowns, a good amount of over 100 yards.
I actually went to pick him up in one of my fantasy leagues. Not the league we're in, so don't worry. Okay, Commanders, Cardinals. We both got this one right, but the Cardinals did impress me on defense.
They very much did. They really stepped up and they showed they didn't mean it. They're not tanking.
Is the Commanders' offense that good? Because Terry McLaurin did not get the ball a lot. Is Sam Howell, just not the guy? We'll find out. The Cardinals were I think it was just too close. Commanders should be a little embarrassed by this. Also, another game I don't want to get too into because it was a little.
I didn't see too much of this, but all I know is the Cardinals did have really good defense in this game.
Yeah, so. And the offense was, but they kept them in it, and I think.
Is that what they're gonna do this whole time? Just stay in games and lose them?
Look, as long as you're looking competitive, I guess you got some direction to go in. The head coach doesn't look that much like a joke. I guess we'll find out.
Against the Commanders too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. The Commanders have a decent defense, and they did hold them to 15 points or whatever it was. They did hold them to that, but I feel like it should have been less. That offense looks like a joke.
No,
but they just got Josh Dobbs a few weeks ago off the street, so it's like.
But listen, Dobbs isn't too bad either.
I know, but he's also
genius could throw.
Yeah, but I also think he's not a starter. He's probably a good backup, but like. That's why the Cardinals are not going to be good this year. The Giants better beat them. That's all I'm going to say. The Giants lose to the Cardinals. So. I think your season's over. Start 0-2. You're going to be deflated. But, okay. Panthers, Falcons, we both got this right. Also, another game where you didn't really learn that much. I think the main thing we learned is Bijan Robinson is explosive.
Yes.
He can catch, he can run, he probably can throw if they can let him throw. So, definitely impressed by Bijan Robinson. The Falcons, I thought this is how it was going to work. The Falcons were able to run the ball effectively. Bryce Young, he had some good moments. He had some bad moments. I wasn't really that impressed with him. I think the Panthers might be worse than I thought they're going to be, though. They don't really have a lot of talent on offense. They struggled here. But the Falcons
I would
just have
take it
more
with a
talent.
grain of salt too.
Yeah, like I said, it's week 1. Desmond Ridder, the Falcons quarterback, didn't show much either, but he did have over an 80 completion percentage. But they were all like dinks and dunks, short throws. Didn't really do much down the field.
Yeah,
so.
he was just playing it safe.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is a big one: Bengals versus Browns. I got this one right. You got this one wrong. The Browns came through. I just had a feeling with this
crazy.
one. Burrow did not look good.
Absolutely crazy. I don't know if it was because he was coming off from an injury, didn't have much time to practice, or if it's just that contract just got to his head.
Yeah, and
I got paid. I'm good. I don't need to perform.
The Bengals always seem to struggle out the gate. I don't know what it is about that. Burrow seems to struggle out the gate. I think they'll be fine. They got a high-powered offense.
Yeah, they got to come into a rhythm.
Cleveland was home there, and I think Cleveland's got something to prove. Deshaun Watson's still struggling with accuracy.
Yes,
though.
I was gonna say the same thing. He was looking like the preseason.
But he made some plays with his legs. And the Browns had a really good defense. I was very impressed by the Browns' defense. So if they have that formula, can win them games.
I don't know if you go against a real competitive teams, because let's be honest, the Bengals were not competitive at all yesterday.
No, they weren't.
You had receivers that literally didn't even touch the ball. T. Higgins didn't touch the ball. That's pathetic.
Yeah, you got to be able to get the ball.
Exactly.
You got to design plays for him. Yeah.
Not just him, just all your receivers.
Yeah.
You have to really. They just were not doing it yesterday, but I still need one more week.
They'll be fine.
But be fine. You can't have somebody that just throws terrible throws every other play.
Watson? He's very inconsistent with that. It seems like his accuracy is a little off at times.
Very off. He'll be wide open and he'll just right into the ground.
A lot of screens too, and button hooks. He does that. Like sometimes, how the running back sometimes he'll do a delay, maybe block someone, and then just go up the middle and do the little button hook.
Yeah.
He'll always throw it to like far left or far right, where like they're not even near the ball. I saw it a couple times in preseason. I saw the same thing in the game, but he did make plays with his legs. That's what you like to see from him. He made some big throws at the end. He had a great drive at the end of the first half. So there was some positives and some negatives.
We'll see.
Yes, for sure. And I'm excited about the Browns. It seems like they might be a little better than people think. Well, actually, Vegas was high on them. Not worried about the Bengals, though. Colts, Jaguars. We were both right. We picked the Jaguars. But we also were both right, as in we were both impressed with Anthony Richardson and the Colts.
Yes, absolutely.
We both saw that coming. We thought it was going to be competitive. It was. Anthony Richardson looks productive right away. Obviously, he made some bad plays. He made some good plays.
He looked like a real NFL player.
And he also looked like a rookie, obviously.
You know?
He making mistakes. It's going to happen. He showed what you want to see from him, which is he's explosive. He's going to run the ball. He's going to score with his legs. He's going to score with his arm.
For sure. Yeah.
So, and there was a point where I was like, are the Colts going to pull this thing off? But, then the Jaguars have more talent. Calvin Ridley looked great. He's going to have an explosive year.
Oh, my God. We definitely got to talk about that.
He's going to have a breakout year.
I don't want to keep on, hyping up Trevor Lawrence, but he looked amazing.
He's looking good.
No, amazing.
That throw to the left of Ridley,
dude, he threw this one ball and he threaded it between two defenders, and they literally ran right into each other. It was like literally boom, right through.
Well, he was a really high prospect for a reason. He was touted as the best prospect since Andrew Luck, John Elway, and that's for a reason.
It's really showing now.
Yeah, and you got a great head coach in Doug Peterson, who also was a quarterback, who's also an offensive mind. So it all helps. You got talent on offense now. Evan Ingram looked great. Travis Etienne looked great.
Yeah, everyone seemed to step up.
They got a team now, and I might pick them for the upset versus the Chiefs this week. We'll see in a little bit when we pick those picks. So next, Raiders Broncos. We both got wrong. Jimmy Garoppolo commanded this game, and the Raiders impressed me a little bit.
Jimmy G, man, he really came in there and did his thing. He really didn't. He wasn't too relying on Devontae Adams though.
Pat Surtain had a great game covering him.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Sauce isn't the best corner, it's Pat Surtain. That guy's great. But go on. Sorry, I just had to mention that.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers had himself a day too.
He did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's definitely stepping up. When a new QB comes into town, you got to really figure out who's
going to be their main receiver, which eventually Devontae Adams will get involved. But, he had a few good catches.
For sure.
But Jacoby Myers had himself a day.
Yes.
I think that signing was bigger than I guess we made it on to be. And he's a pretty damn good receiver, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
He's showing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's okay. He had a bad little concussion.
And I guess it was the 49ers offense, but I did say not Brock Purdy, I'm thinking of the Niners, but Garoppolo was struggling on throwing to the sidelines. He made some great back shoulder throws to Jacoby Myers, so maybe I was a little wrong about that. Garoppolo, he wasn't great, but he made enough plays, and he had over 100 passer rating in this game. He was good in this game. He was steady like he always is. That was a very Garoppolo-like game. They win the game. Now, the Broncos. Russell Wilson looked better.
He looked better.
He made smarter plays, but it wasn't enough. But
like with the talent that you have around you, the talent you have on defense, you should be able to make it work with even a competent.
Dylan, remember that stat I gave about if they scored 18 points or more last year, they would have won 10 games. They again didn't score 18 points. What did they score? 16. This is another this offense still isn't that good. I think Sean Payton is going to start realizing this, and
I think you need to get some other receivers in there.
Well, they lost. Judy missed the game because he was hurt. Tim Patrick's out for the year, so yeah, they might need to make a trade or something. But they're going to miss the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
The Raiders might even end up being better than them. We'll see. But the Raiders impressed me a lot in that game. So
they did.
And the Broncos didn't. So I was a little surprised about that. Am I shocked? Not really. The Broncos were home. The only main positive I took from the Broncos game is that Pat Surtain is a beast at corner, and their defense is great. So I don't know where they go with the Broncos, but Russell was making plays out of the pocket, but he wasn't running still. So I don't know if he just is scared to, or if he lost a step. He looks pretty mobile though, and he made a good throw outside the pocket for a touchdown. So I don't know.
It's not 100% there yet.
No, not at all. I don't know if it's the mismatch with Peyton's personality and Russ's personality, but we'll see further as the season goes on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Rams, Seahawks, I think this one shocked us the most. We dismissed this game on air last week, basically started talking about some nonsense about something else, and then we were like, yeah, we know Seahawks are going to blow this away. What happened to the Seahawks offense in the second half? Where did they go?
Non-existent.
That Rams defense was supposed to be ranked worst in the league, second worst in the league. And
I know Lockett got hurt, but still.
They have Jackson Smith and Jigma still. They have Metcalf. They have two good backs. Mm-hmm. How did this Rams defense is so young? How did they pull that off? I don't know. But the main thing I want to ask from this, who is Puka Nacua? This guy had himself a day.
No, absolutely.
I just kept saying that all day.
They just showed they don't really need Cooper
Kupp. Imagine when he does come back. So maybe the Rams are going to be better than we thought. Stafford looked good. I said I knew Stafford wasn't washed. I knew it. I said it all off season, and he looked pretty damn good. His arm, remember that throw he made over the middle where he just slung it between two defenders? He's still got that arm, Matt Stafford. And, is he going to hold up? That depends on the offensive line, but it looked pretty decent on Sunday.
Yes,
so
yes, they did.
I'm a little worried about the Seahawks now. They're playing the Lions this week, and it's could they start 0-2? I don't know.
It's very possible.
So, what happened to their receivers? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand how that happened. I guess because Geno was getting pressured a lot because they were missing both their tackles. So I guess that has a lot to play into it, but that was just a great win from the Rams, a great defense, a great divisional win, and maybe we were a little wrong about both teams. I'm not ready to overreact on the Seahawks yet. But
No.
I am ready to say maybe the Rams are a little better than we thought. 7-8 wins possible, maybe.
They really stepped up and proved us wrong.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who else proved you wrong, but proved me right. 49ers at Steelers. Brock Purdy had a day.
Kenny Pickett did not.
Yeah, and he struggled. And you know what?
He did.
They were not able to put points up on the board. It was just a little sad. The Niners got off to a hot start quick, and they just kept rolling them. And it was just complete domination. And now it's time to ask because Pickett looked great in the preseason. Pickens looked great in the preseason. And last season they finished off strong. So it's time to ask this. Were the Steelers overhyped, Dylan?
No, I think we still need one more game. It could just be a sluggish start. I don't know. I need to see one more game before I need to see one more game
too, but I don't know. Maybe they weren't as good as I was hyped. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, and I think that's realistic because there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. But
that's fair to say. But at the same time, you can't dismiss them. It's week 1.
I'm going to ask you a question because I've heard this thrown out there a lot. You got Brock Purdy. Say the Niners win 13, 14 games. They get the 1 seed. He has a great year. He's a quarterback. Is he an MVP candidate?
Not yet, no.
What if but you see that game he had on Sunday? He was the MVP of Sunday, for sure.
No, for sure.
What if he does that for 17 weeks and the Niners make they're the best team in the league?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Just let's sleep on that for now. And let's revisit this a few weeks from now, and we'll see where he is at this point.
No, I will say Brock Purdy really made a name for himself. I feel like a lot of people underrated him.
I think they realize now they made the right decision getting rid of Trey Lance.
He looked very mobile.
Yeah, he way more mobile than I thought.
Absolutely. It's a perfect fit for them because that's they love their running quarterbacks in them over there. I think he's going to definitely do good with the 49ers organization.
I'll throw out another sleeper candidate for MVP. I think you'll agree with this one. Tua.
Yeah, for sure.
460 something yards. But we'll get into that another day. Like I said, we'll revisit this. It's only week 1. We're overreacting a little bit. Now, Dylan, this last game, Patriots-Eagles, Dylan, you want to explain? Because Dylan had a pick change after the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I didn't come to a realization because I knew this was going to be a close game, and it was. But they didn't have Devontae Parker. Last-minute decision. They decided he wasn't playing. And that kind of really, I feel like everything has to be going for the Patriots for this to work. They need all their receivers. Everyone needs to be playing. So, yes, I did switch my pick last minute, and I stuck with the Eagles.
You almost regretted it because
I almost regretted it, too. Halfway through, I'm like, oh, should I switch?
I was very impressed.
It was a very good game.
I was very impressed with Mac Jones and the Patriots. Hunter Henry made a couple nice catches. A good touchdown throw to Henry. Kendrick Bourne had himself a day. And, it looked like Bill O'Brien, being the offensive coordinator, actually having a legit offensive coordinator in the building, helped Mac Jones and the Patriots. They were very competitive. And did the Eagles get affected a little bit by losing both their coordinators, especially on offense, because their offense struggled in this game.
I can definitely
see that. The defense played well, but the offense struggled in this game. And, the defense actually, they gave up some stuff, but overall, they held them to 20 points, so it was okay. But,
they did not look like the Eagles we saw last year.
Exactly. So, maybe they will take a step back. I'm not sure. They still will probably win the division, but Mac Jones, like I said, he's better than people thought. He is average, but now he's definitely going to beat the Jets, especially since the Jets lost Rodgers. So Mac Jones, they might win 8-9 games. They might be sleepy good, especially because of Belichick and the defense. So we're not going to get too much into this one. We got to wait another week again. But very impressed with the Patriots in this one. Before we get into the predictions for next week's games, we will list 3 players that impressed us. I'll do 2, you do 1. So I'll go first. Number 1, obviously, Brock Purdy. He was a stud that game. That touchdown pass he threw to Ayuk in the right side of the end zone, he just dropped that right in there. He just looks so poised. That little juke move he did on the Steelers defender for the first down. He always makes the right play. I never see him making mistakes. The sky's the limit for the 49ers this year. This might be the year they finally win the Super Bowl, especially if Purdy stays healthy with this.
They have everything ready to go,
So I'm very impressed with Brock Purdy from week 1. Probably the most impressed with Brock Purdy. Who do you have?
Well, I couldn't not say Tyreek Hill for having over 200 receiving yards. That's out of this world. Out of this world. It's like nobody could even keep up with him. Every catch he caught, he was 10 yards away from a defender. And it's just crazy. His height, he makes up for it in his speed by 10.
Yeah. And he's always open.
He's always open, And it comes to a point, it's like, okay, let's double cover him, Let's stay 10 yards away from him so he just really made a statement. I mean, obviously we knew Tyreek Hill was one of the best receivers, but now I'm considering him to be the best receiver.
Yeah, he's up there for sure. And you made a good point. When you have someone with a lot of speed, the defense wants to keep space away from them. They back up 10 yards, and that's when they start crossing him over the middle, and then he's wide open over the middle. So he's a mismatch, Tyreek Hill. With Waddle, too. Very impressed from Tyreek Hill with week 1, absolutely. And the third for us, I'm going to go with Breece Hall. Comes back from the ACL right where he left off last season. Did he get called up to at the end? Yes, but he's out of shape. He'll be fine. Wow, Dylan, he's special, Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, it's kind of crazy. It's like I think it was the first running play that he had,
a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, 20-yard gain, and then another one where he literally ran 80 yards down the field.
Breece Hall is something, and then you have Dalvin Cook, so you don't have to rely too much on Breece Hall.
And Dalvin Cook didn't look terrible either. He looked like he still had a lot of juice in him.
Let me tell you, the Jets are going to be very run heavy now, so they're going to use those 2 backs a lot.
Yeah, definitely run heavy now.
So Breece Hall, expect him to have a big year, but let's hope we don't overuse him.
So that's what I want to get into.
You texted me that last night. You're like, wow, they're using Breece Hall.
When you have a player that comes back from injury, you usually wean him in, run him, 1 or 2 times a drive. They were using him every other play.
Which is funny, though, because I think he only had 7 carries, but he had a few catches in there, and it did feel like he was in, a lot more than I thought he was going to be in. So you are right about that. Now,
just got to tread lightly.
He's a star. You have a nice young star with the Jets, but there's a lot of young stars with the Jets. That's why I had that whole speech in the beginning, but we'll see where they go from here. Now, 3 teams that impressed me, I think you'll give a couple to. I want to start mainly, obviously, with the Miami Dolphins. They have the best offense in the league, in my opinion. Tua just keeps hitting his receivers over and over and over again. The crosses are always open. Mike McDaniel is a genius head coach. That situationally on defense, they could be okay. Now, I know they got kind of toasted a little bit, but they made the stops when they needed to. I think Miami's a legit Super Bowl contender. I think they can hang with anyone. I think they have the talent to hang with anyone. I think they're going to hang with everyone. And I think they have the coach to scheme with anyone. So it's just the Dolphins.
So if there's two teams like that week one we think are going to make the Super Bowl, that my other team is the 49ers. The 49ers and Dolphins, that's a Super Bowl I can see.
So that's I guess you could say that's who impressed you the most week one.
Yes, absolutely. You know, they were firing on all cylinders. Brock Purdy, like you said, was a beast, complete beast. And they were, Christian McCaffrey is obviously still that guy, he still has that breakaway speed, and he's very talented.
Saw that in that touchdown run.
Yes, and then, it's we were talking about this before, there's so much talent at the wide receiver depth. Literally anybody could have
Ayuk had a day. Ayuk could have a day.
Kittle touchdowns.
I didn't hear much from Kittle. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it can go either way, and that's
why they're so special.
Absolutely. And then you got defense going for you. You got so much going for you there.
No, wait, I'm sorry. Bosa did play, but even if he didn't play, they have so much depth on the D-line. But they're linebacker, offensive line, they have a great left tackle. There's something special.
If I had to make a bet for Super Bowl, it would be Miami versus the Dolphins.
Miami versus the Dolphins.
The Dolphins versus the 49ers. That would be a great Super Bowl.
That's an interesting one. I'll let that settle in my head while I give my second team that I'm impressed with. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They came to play. They're better than people thought. I think Baker's going to have a decent year. Maybe, well, actually, no, he won't be comeback player of the year, but maybe a candidate for comeback player of the year. Damar Hamlin's going to get that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But maybe he has a decent year this year. Maybe he shows that maybe with some pieces around him, he could get the job done. I mean, Tampa should be looking to a quarterback. This is a very quarterback-heavy draft. But I could see them competing for the division. The Saints aren't that far off from them. They have talent from the Super Bowl team. They still have great defensive players from the Super Bowl team at linebacker, on the D-line. They still have a good line, decent line. They don't have a great run game, but, Baker with those receivers can get the job done. Mike Evans had a decent day. Don't forget about Godwin when he's healthy. I don't see why the Bucs can't win 8-9 games. I think that's pretty realistic.
Yeah, I feel like one of these teams is going to go either way.
In the South, right?
Yes,
yeah, because I think the Saints are going to win the division, but the Bucs could definitely be. I thought the Panthers were going to be better than the Bucs. It looks like the Bucs are going to be better than the Panthers. So, and what are the Falcons? So the Bucs could definitely be second in the division.
That division kind of throws me off. You really don't know what team is going where.
We talk about this all the time because we flip-flopped and all that. But who's your second team that impressed you?
The second team is the Jaguars, and we were talking about this before. There's just such a young team and so well put together. Trevor Lawrence is really a great quarterback.
He is a great quarterback.
For what he is, he's so mobile and he can move around in the pocket, spin around, and throw a dime. He's very talented.
He can make every throw, move any direction. Yeah, he can do it all.
I don't mean to say like the wide receivers there aren't really good. They are really good, but I really feel like he can make it work with anyone. He's just that type of quarterback.
He can, and
he kind of reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. We talked about this before.
And
teams look very similar.
His first season he was terrible. But that's because he had a terrible head coach. He probably could do it with anyone if he had the right head coach, which he does now. So I mean, if people get hurt, I'm not worried about them. I think the Jags are going to go far this year for sure. Now, the third team I'm impressed with, the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know what to make of them, but I am impressed with their first win. Stafford looked good. Who's Puka Nacua? I don't know, but I love him. Tutu Atwell had a big game. The defense stepped up. I don't know what's going to happen with this Rams team, but all I know is that they have potential to be okay this season, so we'll see what happens. The offensive line also impressed me a lot. So I don't know how you feel about the Rams, but they definitely showed me that maybe they have something here.
They were very impressive. They definitely showed. I mean, my standards were low, so
30 points.
They blew me away. And the third team I have is the Lions. I've been talking about this all off season. Right. This game against the Chiefs just proved it more how ready they are and how it's their time. Dan Campbell has put these guys through hell, and he's done everything for these guys, and I feel like it's really paying off now because they're really showing it on the field.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to win the division this year. Sorry, for now, you guys don't know if you hear a little rasp in my voice. I lost my voice during the Jets game, screaming Aaron Rodgers and then crying when he got hurt the very next play. So bear with me. But the Lions, I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to be fine. They impressed me too because they're showing that they can win those close games now. So
Goff could go toe to toe with Mahomes, man.
And I will say, obviously Jones didn't play and Kelsey was hurt, but they still beat Mahomes. There's something to say for that. That gives them confidence moving forward. And they just have the pieces. They might
need the boost they need to really go all the way.
Exactly. And I think Goff's capable. They have a good running game, and like we said, Montgomery's underrated. Gibbs is probably going to be a star as the season goes on. I'm around St. Brown's that guy. And the defense looked like that. The defense looked a little better too.
Yeah,
I told them it's going to take some time for them to gel. They're starting to gel pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So now we will finally get into our picks, Dylan. We'll get into our picks. Let's do this. So we'll start with the Vikings at the Eagles. Now I have Eagles -7 here right now. I'll let you start. Who do you think?
Well, this one's going to be, I'm obviously going to go Eagles all the way, but I feel like the Vikings really need to make a statement here. They had an embarrassing loss. The two back-to-back embarrassing losses. I feel like they're just kind of, we're kind of, seeing exactly what they are,
They're exposed now.
Yes. I mean, Kirk Cousins is still good, You can't say he's not good, but you can't just do it with Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. It's just... you need other talent around there. You need a good running back, and you just got rid of Cook. So I can't see them doing anything anytime soon.
The defense doesn't look much better than last year, and the offense struggled. And I gotta go Eagles here too. The Eagles also struggled, but I just don't see a way where the Eagles played last year on Monday night. I'm pretty sure and destroyed them. And the Eagles, it's just a little bit of a mismatch. The Eagles have a great defense.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
I don't think be like a 14-point game.
Yeah, 14-point, not really blowout. Probably 2-score game for sure. I'll go Eagles. I won't really go much more into that because I think I can confidently say Eagles. I think they'll improve this week on offense. So moving on, Ravens at Bengals. Bengals -3.5. What do you got, Dylan? You got the Bengals bouncing back?
Yes, absolutely. After a really bad loss like that, I feel like Joe Burrow is going to come to play this time.
I got the Bengals also, and is Lamar going to struggle again? I don't know. That's a question that needs to be asked.
Something I forgot to even mention: Odell Beckham was irrelevant there.
Yeah,
he was non-existent. So I don't know why you're paying this guy $15 million when you don't even need him.
Zay Flowers looked like the number one.
No, Zay Flowers definitely looked like he had a lot of talent. And
we didn't even talk about the Ravens-Texans. Well, that's not much to talk about. They did not impress us at all. We'll talk about that now.
No.
They didn't impress us at all, really.
Texans, made more of a...
Yeah,
they have,
Like I said, their defense was feisty. Like I said that going into this. C.J. Stroud looks like he has more escapability than I thought. But, they didn't really do much on offense. Mm-hmm. Wasn't really impressive for them. I was even less impressed with the Baltimore Ravens. Zay Flowers looks like he could be a legitimate number one receiver. God bless J.K. Dobbins out for the season again.
Oh, my God.
So, once again, they're cursed with running backs. Their running backs always get hurt. Okay, so Seahawks at Lions. This one's a little tough for me because, I think Seattle's a little better than what they showed last week, but, the Lions are a tough one. What do you got?
The Lions we were just talking about it, they have this momentum from just beating the Chiefs. I think they're going to bring it to play versus Seattle. But at the same time, Seattle's going to try to have a bounce back week, and I think it's going to be a close one. This is going to be one game I jot down. I'm definitely watching.
So this one I'm 50-50 on. I might end up changing this before the games start because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, Seattle's got the great receivers. Detroit improved their secondary, but still not great. So maybe there'd be a little mismatch there. But I do think the Lions are going to run the ball very well in this game. So I got the Lions in this one. They're going to be able to control the game on the ground, play action for Jared Goff. I think they'll be okay in this game. So I got the Lions in this one. The spread's -5.5 Lions. They're home. Goff looked good. Goff's going to continue to look good. I think the Seahawks are going to bounce back here. They might cover the spread here. It's going to be a close one, but I think the Lions are going to eke it out at the end. So.
Same here.
Colts -1 at Texans. So what do you got here?
I think they got this a little closer than it's going to be, honestly.
I think the Colts are better than Texans right now.
Yes, absolutely. So. I think Anthony Richardson's going to have himself a day.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into this either. I think Anthony Richardson is going to The more I think about it, D'Amico Ryan's head coach of the Texans, defensive guy. Maybe the Texans kind of hold Richardson here a little bit, but I think he's just too talented, and the Texans don't have enough talent.
Pittman had himself a game as well. Pittman really stepped up too, and he's not a terrible receiver.
He's not.
Either,
He's a good receiver. It's just he's the only one there. They don't have anything else. So they definitely need Jonathan Taylor back eventually. But Richardson will make up for a lot of the ground yards. So we got Colts in this one. I do think the spread is a little close there. Bears at Bucks. They got -3. They have the Bucks as the favorites being home -3. What do you think?
So right here, I'm going with the Bears.
Going with the Bears.
Going with the Bears. They had to have a bounce back week. I believe it. Justin Fields, he's talented, and I think he's going to show it in this game.
I think Justin Fields talented. I still think he might work in this league, but I'm thinking we hyped the Bears up a little bit too much. And I think we undersold the Bucks a little too much.
Yeah,
I'm going Bucks in this one.
Fair enough.
I'm going Bucks in this one. I think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to run the ball necessarily better, but the Bears secondary once again looks shot. So I think with those two receivers the Bucks got, they're going to have a field day on offense. And then on defense, they have good fast linebackers. They have a D-line that can create pressure. Justin Fields is going to be running for his life again. So
Bears have a really good runner, though. Herbert's pretty good as well.
He's explosive, yeah. He's explosive, so they definitely need to get the running game going this week. They can't have Fields running for his life every week. They need to develop some kind of standard game plan for him.
DJ Moore definitely has to step up.
Yes, he does. He does. And Claypool needs to get his head out of his rear end sometimes. It's looking like he doesn't even care out there. So
he's become non-existent,
Right. So that's the first one that I think we're split on.
Yes,
okay. So interesting. Okay. Chiefs at Jaguars. Now I think Travis Kelce. I'm not sure if he's going to play yet. It sounds like they're optimistic that he will play. Let me hear what you think.
So who did I get? I got the Chiefs for this one. You can't go back-to-back weeks after losing to the Lions. I feel like they're really gonna go in the locker room, get themselves straight, and come out firing here. I think Mahomes is really gonna be like, okay, let me show these guys why I'm a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, and the thing is, to me, I'm gonna have to see if Kelce plays or not.
I think Kadarius Toney is going to make up for it, and I think he's going to have himself a game too.
If they don't bench him?
No, I mean, listen, they in the press conference with Patrick
they're going to say whatever.
Yeah, I know.
You could be
always going to be.
They do need him though, because who else do they have at receiver? So to me, it depends. If Kelce doesn't play, I'm definitely going Jags. If Kelce does play, I still might go Jags, but I might go Chiefs. So right now I have Jags. I feel like this is a game that the Jags might steal from the Chiefs. If you look at both weapons, Jags have way more weapons than the Chiefs, and the Jags front seven is very underrated. So it's it's slightly like the old version of Saxonville, not really though. But I do think that the Chiefs defense did create somewhat of a pass rush last week, and now they get Chris Jones back. But I just feel like this is a good matchup for the Jaguars because if Kelce doesn't play, where's the production coming from the Chiefs? Because it's like, okay, I know they're going to score 20, but can they score 30? Because I know this Jags offense could score 30 if they have to. So I just think this is going to be a little bit of a mixed matches of talent in offense. So I just think that the Jags are going to come through in this one. Plus, they were close in the playoff game last year against the Chiefs. I think they only lost by 7. So I think this is kind of the Jags' time. They got the talent, and they're putting the pieces together right before our eyes. So Jags for me.
We'll see. It's going to be a close game. This one is definitely going to be another close one.
That's pencil in for me for sure. So Packers at Falcons. Packers -1.5 on the road. What do you got?
Got the Packers for this one.
I agree. Packers.
All the way. Jordan Love. He's definitely going to have himself a show, I feel like this will be the one where we really see him come out and do his thing.
The Falcons' defense isn't that great, so this should be the game that Jordan Love kind of stands out. I think the Falcons will be able to, of course, run the ball effectively, but I think they're going to be exposed here for what they really are, which is a limited team. Desmond Ridder is going up against a decent defense. I think he's going to struggle here. So.
Another thing I got to see if is Everton Jones playing. He went out last game with
very true. But we both know, you and I both know, A.J. Dillon could get the job done.
Yes, you can.
So Packers there for both of us. We're both higher on the Packers than we thought we'd be. But actually, you were kind of high on the Packers, but I wasn't. But now I'm starting to buy in on the Packers here.
Listen, I was high on one of them, Bears or the Packers.
It's looking like it's the Packers. I was actually higher on the Bears. I was low on both of them, but then I ended up being higher on the Bears.
I ended up being higher on the Bears too.
I kind of drank the Kool-Aid a little bit. You're still high on them. I'm starting to fade with that one.
No,
Raiders at Bills. Bills 9.5 favorite. I got Bills. What do you think?
Bills as well. They have
to bounce back after last week.
An embarrassing loss.
And the Raiders' defense isn't great. I mean, it looked good against the Broncos, but it seems like they're still lacking secondary depth. So I think the Bills are going to bat. They're going to be looking they're not going to want to start 0-2. So I think they're going to be fine. I thought about maybe Raiders in this one because Garoppolo kind of hangs in there with the good teams. But just come on, we got
the only person that needs to step up is Josh Allen. Nobody else, just Josh Allen.
Just play your game, man. Don't turn the ball over. Like if you have to throw the ball away, throw the ball away. Stop forcing it down the field when you don't have to. That's all it comes to.
It literally looked like he just wasn't trying, and he was just like, I think he was just like trolling you guys.
Someone, Tiki Barber, former Giant, said on WFAN that it looks like Josh Allen doesn't respect the Jets and just thinks he could do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he better respect them now because we've beaten them twice with Zach Wilson. So just remember that. I don't mean to. All right, I'm not
with
trying to
Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers was only in 4 plays.
I'm not trying to shade the Bills here. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to speak facts here. But Chargers at Titans. I mean, I think we both got the Chargers there. Tannehill looks awful. So,
yeah. And Chargers, their
defense
really
has to step up because last week that was awful against Miami. Like they have a defensive head coach and their defense sucks. They got Joey Bosa, okay. They got Derwin James and J.C. Jackson on the back end. Pretty sure they have Khalil Mack still. So I don't know what they're doing here. Like
Chargers are always folding, man. I don't know.
Always
they have
folding.
all the talent around there, but.
Well, it was a tough game against Miami, 2 high-powered offenses, but we both got Chargers here.
Yes.
Titans are just, they eventually going to have to realize they need a star quarterback. I know they keep drafting one. They got to get it right, though. So hopefully Levis is the guy eventually because right now Tannehill looks like he's not it. So
No.
Not at all. 49ers at Rams. 49ers are 8-point favorites. Maybe disrespecting the Rams a little bit here, but there's a big difference in talent here. So what do you think? Divisional?
I think this is a no-brainer here. We got to go with the 49ers
all
the way.
I agree.
But, it could be a competitive one. The Rams really made themselves a statement last week with that win.
The Rams might cover the spread, 8-point spread. That's pretty big for a divisional game.
Yeah,
right.
For sure. I mean, who knows? We could be eating our own words next week.
This might be the game the Rams got exposed.
Yeah.
So the Rams might be bad. They look like they might not be. So we'll see. Puka Nacua might not have the day he had last week. Well, Sunday, and not much to say about that other than we think the Niners are going to control the line of scrimmage, and I think this is going to be the game the Rams secondary might actually finally get exposed. Look at all the receiver depth in San Fran, and plus it has McCaffrey and Kittle to that. It's good. It might be a problem. So we'll
some amount of talent over there.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what the Rams are from this game for sure. So okay, Giants at Cardinals. I mean, this seems like a no-brainer. What do you got?
No-brainer. I don't even want to say that. Don't even say that. You're gonna jinx it. Okay, of course I have the Giants winning this one. I don't want to say of course because I said that last week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just talent. After a loss like that, I've been saying about all the losses, but after a loss like that, you really got embarrassed. You had your back end handed to you, and now you have a chance to have a bounce back week. It's against the Cardinals. You kind of have a gimme here, so really make the most of it and do what you can. And
they gotta come back fired up, and I think they will. Dable will have the guys rallied after last week. Embarrassed. He probably embarrassed them in film, and they're gonna come out. I think they're gonna cover the spread of -6 here. I think they're gonna control this game. Daniel Jones probably gonna have himself a nice little day. The Cardinals defense will be a little feisty, but the Giants will score over 20 here. So I got the Giants in that one as well. Jets at Cowboys. Let's just be honest. The Jets are going to get demolished here. That D-line is going to destroy the Jets, and I got the Cowboys. What about you? Now
I'm worried about Zach Wilson.
He's going to get hurt.
Yeah, he is. You're going to have to pull out Tim Boyle,
So
Cowboys.
I don't think there's much else to say other than that. I think the Jets defense will actually shut down Dak in the offense a little bit, but the Dallas defense is going to destroy the Jets offense. This might be a game.
I got PTSD watching that, man. I can't even.
I'm going to make a bold statement. Garrett Wilson might not have a catch in this game. That's how bad it's going to be. He's not going to be able to get the ball to his receivers. He's not going to have time. It's going to be ugly. I think Dallas might even cover this 9.5. I'm just very low on the Jets now with Zach Wilson. Look, I defended him for so long. I'm over it. He looked okay in the preseason, but it's the preseason. You're going against second, third, fourth stringers. He looked terrible yesterday. I don't want to hear anything else. The touchdown throw, he threw in the front shoulder, should have been in the back shoulder. It was almost a pick. Look, it is what it is at this point. So we'll see what happens. The defense is great. I think they're going to have to get a veteran after this game. So we'll see. Commanders at Broncos. Broncos are the 3.5-point favorite, but they disappointed last week against the Raiders. What do you think about the Broncos, Dylan?
I got the Broncos for this one all the way.
I also do.
I think.
Too. I actually was a little hesitant on this one. This one might flip for me because the Broncos really disappointed me, but I gotta stick with the Broncos for now.
Russell Wilson, man, what are we gonna make of him? We really don't know. I don't know. What are we gonna make of him? I had a lot of hopes for him. I thought Sean Payton was really gonna make a turnaround, and I hope that still is the case. But we have to give it 1 or 2 more weeks before we make the decision as well.
No, yeah, and he showed that he could make plays still, but it was not enough, and it's the offense is still not enough, and it's gonna be frustrating for the defense again this year. But I think they're gonna squeeze this one out because the Commanders just looked like their offense is limited too. They weren't getting Terry McLaurin the ball much. They should have really blew out the Cardinals. That just showed me that maybe the Commanders aren't as good as last year. I think they're going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I did like Howell, but it looks like he's probably going to be a guy that's probably bouncing around the league as a backup, a bridge guy. I don't want to overreact from one game, but it looks like the Commanders are probably going to be a 5-win team this year, 4 or 5, 6-win team this year. Definitely, the Broncos will probably be more of a 7-win, 8-win team because they have more talent and their defense is great. The Broncos, the defense of the Broncos will probably shut down the Commanders today.
Yeah, Commanders have talent around them.
They do.
They just don't have everything figured out yet.
Yeah, they just got a new owner. They'll probably be switching head coaches after this season, and they don't know who their quarterback is. So we'll see what goes on with them.
See what Howell actually is.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins at Patriots. This is a very interesting game. Divisional. Dolphins are 2-point favorites. I feel like that's low. I feel like the Dolphins should be favored more than that, even though the Patriots did play well against the Eagles last week. I got to go with Miami in this one. Miami, like I said, is the best offense in the league. Miami by a wide margin.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to take this one too. But at the same time, I do really like what I saw from the Patriots last week. Who knows if the Eagles are just really good and they just really put a shot down on them. So I want to see what the Patriots do against the Dolphins because that's a amazing team and
right, and
their defense isn't too hot either. So
good point. And it's Dolphins are looks like to me the Dolphins are going to be the class of this division. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Patriots stack up against that. Can the Patriots stay in the game against them, or is this high-powered offense going to run away with it? And is Max Jones going to be playing catch up the rest of the game? So I got the Dolphins in this one. I think they kind of cruise. I think Belichick, too, is kind of past the point where Belichick's going to phase him. I mean, he's not really a rookie or a young quarterback anymore. He's a young quarterback, but he's a veteran at this point. I mean, he's smart, so I don't think Belichick's really going to get in his head. Tyreek's going to be running down the field wide open. Probably not wide open because they have good defensive schemes over there in New England, but Tyreek Hill's going to get his. Hopefully they can get Waddle a little bit more involved. It didn't seem like they needed him last week. This week they might need to pull out some more. I
mean, I know Belichick's going to be looking at the film and be like, okay, we got to play shutdown on Tyreek.
Yeah, so Waddle might have a bigger day this week, which helps me because I have him in fantasy. So Dolphins for both of us in that one. Saints at Panthers, a divisional game. Saints 3-point favorites on the road. What do you got?
I got the Saints for this one. It's a clear one for me. Derek Carr really proved himself. It's hard coming into a new organization and, getting used to all the play schemes and the wide receivers. But he's really good at that, I feel like he's looking better on the Saints than he did on the Raiders.
Well, here's the thing. On the Raiders, he never had more than a 20th ranked defense, better than that. And the Saints have, I think, a top 10 defense. So now this is going to help him. He threw for over 300 yards yesterday, but I don't think he threw a touchdown pass. Or maybe he threw one.
I think
he threw one. But regardless, on the Raiders, he would have had to throw 4 or 5 touchdown passes just to win because he was always in shootouts against the Chiefs, against the Browns, always in a shootout. So now here, he just has to play his game. He doesn't have to make crazy throws. Just got to make the smart play. You're going to get Kamara back eventually. Michael Thomas looked like he was okay. So
Michael Thomas came back.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think they should overuse him because you don't want to get him hurt
again. And then you got Rashid Shaheed over the top.
Rashid Shaheed, man, my guy.
You got good defense. You got good corners, good D-line. So they're definitely going to... I think they're going to win the division. I got the Saints, too. The Panthers, I think, are going to be worse than I thought because they just don't have any wide receiver depth. They were missing DJ Chark, so maybe they'll be a little better. Thielen got nothing. Thielen was non-existent. It's just looking like Bryce Young might struggle this season. The defense is okay, but it's really the offense is going to struggle here. And Miles Sanders is pretty good, but I don't think they'd be able to run the ball that effectively to the point where it looks like all season it's going to be hard for Bryce Young. So he's going to struggle a little bit this season. But The Panthers, they'll probably win some games, but I thought they're going to win.
It's unfortunate because he's not on that good of a team, so it's kind of like he's a step back from everyone else.
That's what happens when you draft the first overall. You go to the worst team. I mean, they've drafted up. I mean, they've traded up with the Chicago Bears.
Look what happened to the Jaguars now. Trevor Lawrence is really making a name for himself.
Exactly. Eventually, it's worth it. You just got to get to that point. So, can they get to that point with Bryce Young? I think they have the right head coach. We'll find out. Probably not this season, so I got the Saints in this one. All right, the last one. This might be the game of the week. Divisional game, Browns at Steelers. Who do you got? Steelers are home. The Browns are the 2.5-point favorite, though, even though the Steelers are home. Will the Steelers bounce back this week, or are the Steelers not as good as we thought?
No, the Steelers have to come back this week. They have to.
I got the Steelers, too. And that's only because being high on the Browns, they're going to let you down eventually. So I feel like they're on the road here. This seems like a game where they kind of choke a little bit. So, yeah, no, I think Kenny Pickett's going to bounce back, rejuvenate himself from last week. They got to get the run game going, Najee Harris. The defense needs to step up a little bit more. Deshaun Watson kind of makes some wild throws. So when he makes those wild throws, the Pittsburgh Steelers need to capitalize and get some turnovers. They got Minka Fitzpatrick back there. He needs to be a little bit of a ball hawk this week, kind of get some interceptions from Deshaun Watson. And I think it's just going to come down to turnovers, and I think the Browns are going to turn the ball over more than the Steelers. So I think the Steelers are just going to play smarter. They're going to end up winning the game because they're going to be less turnover prone. So I got the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, nothing else much to say there, but yeah, I definitely have the Steelers for this one, but I don't know, Deontay Johnson got hurt. I don't know if he's going to be coming back for this game, so he's going to be missing that key target. But you still do have a lot of talent.
You got Pickens, you got Freiermuth, Najee Harris. They'll be okay. They'll be okay for sure. I think it's just going to come down to the Browns are going to make more mistakes than the Steelers, and the Steelers are home. So I think the Steelers are going to have the slight advantage there. They bounce back this week. They look a little better. They win the game.
I'm definitely going to be watching this one because I want to see what Deshaun Watson actually is. I didn't like what I see from him this week. I want to see if he makes any sorts of improvements. If he actually hits his targets. I don't know.
And that's a big thing. Imagine the Browns start off 2-0. Hopes are going to be high for the Browns.
Dude, I feel like they've been in this type of position for so long. Like, you had a team that, you think is
they had it with Baker.
Playoff caliber.
Yes, they had it with Baker, and then they moved on from Baker. And now you're starting this is finally your first full season with Deshaun Watson. This is finally your year. It's supposed to be your year in a tough AFC. So we'll see what happens with the Browns. Very interesting to find out how the season's going to play out for the Cleveland Browns. Will they make the playoffs? Yeah. Will the Steelers make the playoffs? We'll find out. None of them might make the playoffs, so we'll see. So with that, we will go into the games we're going to watch out for. I'll just roll right into it. Browns and Steelers. It's a big one. It's a divisional game. The Steelers could start 0-2 here. The Browns could start 2-0 here. So will they pull back together? Both go 1-1 after this game. This is a huge game because it'll be the tiebreaker at the end of the season. It sets the tone for if Pittsburgh's going to continue to struggle, and it's going to set the tone if the Browns are going to continue to get better and improve. So this is big. This is pivotal for both of these teams.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Steelers really need to make a statement here. Otherwise, they're going to just keep on falling off the wagon.
They start 0-2. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. In this AFC, not going to happen.
I can't see it.
And the Browns start 2-0. Should we start taking them seriously?
No, not that either.
I might. If they win this game, I might start taking them seriously for a legitimate playoff contention. So
I don't know. I think the Bengals just weren't having themselves a game. Like, they were not performing at all.
They weren't. That's for sure. But I think the Browns I think the Browns defense got them a little bit too. So you gotta give the Browns some credit there. So what's your game?
My game is gonna be the Seahawks and Lions. That's gonna be a really good one. I really want to see the Lions come out. It's just you don't know what's gonna happen with the Seahawks. They have so much talent around them, and they just didn't have a good game at all. So I'm really curious to see if Geno Smith's going to step up. He has so much talent around him, so he's a running quarterback. He can easily get out the pocket. You know how good he can run. He had a comeback year last year, so I'm curious to see if he's just going to go the complete other way with it. And
that's a great point. That's a great point. Is Geno Smith just a 1-year wonder? And we were all penciling the Seahawks to be a playoff team again, but was that just a fluke? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out very soon. Now you have a tough game against the Lions. You start at 0-2. Like I said, 0-2 is not looking good when you start at 0-2. And the Lions, this is an NFC test. You might see the Seahawks in the playoffs if they do improve. So this is a good test to see how you match up against teams in your conference. So, and the Seahawks, they have some offensive talent, so this is a good test for your defense. So definitely an interesting game to watch out for. That's a good one. I got the Chiefs and Jags too, because look, the Jags are kind of little brother right now to the Chiefs. Can the Jags kind of overcome the Chiefs? Can the Jags get the 1 seed this year? They got an easy schedule, they got an easy division. They beat the Chiefs here. They will have the tiebreaker over them at the end of the season. So can they get to that 1 seed? The Jags want to show the Chiefs, hey, we're not the little brother anymore. We can compete with you. We lost by 1 score to you last season, but we're going to beat you this season. So I'm interested
That's
in that
a very
one.
interesting game as well. I like that one. The other one I want to look into is the Raiders and the Bills. I mean, we were talking about this before. The Bills really...
Josh Allen.
Yes.
Yeah. Mainly Josh Allen, you mean that?
Yes. I feel like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, a lot of these second-week games are really determining if they're really, not that good or if they're going to... It's just, a rough start.
Yeah, because week 1 we kind of overreact, so week 2 is kind of deciding, like, okay, are we overreacting or are we not overreacting? So good point there. Josh Allen, I do need to see... Is he going to keep regressing or is he going to bounce back this week? I do think they bounce back this week, but you never know. Maybe the Raiders are surprisingly good.
Yeah, Probably. No, they had themselves a
They
week
have
last
pieces.
week,
They have receivers. They have the running back. They have the edge rushers. So you never know with the Raiders. They have some good tight ends. So the Raiders might be competitive in this game. They might cover the spread. I do think the Bills are going to improve in this week, though. Okay, so now we're going to give some players to keep an eye out for this week. Now, when we do this, it could be for any reason. For good reasons, for bad reasons, for interesting reasons. We'll give 5. So I guess I'll give 3, you give 2. So I'll go first. First player for me to keep an eye on, Ryan Tannehill. Is he washed? He looked terrible, made bad throws, untimely throws, bad decisions, look a step slow. I'm very interested to see, is he washed? You might kind of see it this week. I forgot. Who are they playing again? Let me go up and see. They are playing the Chargers. So that's definitely a game to see. But now the Chargers defense seems to struggle, but they do have players and they have somewhat of a pass rush. So Tannehill might struggle here. So I'm very interested to see how he'll turn out in this game.
A player that I'm looking at for is Jahmyr Gibbs. He had himself a game. He didn't stat-wise, he didn't go too crazy. But if you watch the film, he was talented. He was doing all sorts of spin moves, reverse spin moves. He was just defying running
breaking
backs.
tackles.
Yes,
right. Yeah.
He was looking very talented, and I just want to see more from him. He has a good back to really
Montgomery, the rely on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So. He has some relief there. So I feel like he's going to be really good this season, and I just want to see more from him.
They'll probably give him more of a load as the season goes on. By the time the playoffs come, he'll be full on, probably 80% of the load. So I'm excited for Gibbs.
I feel like they should really use Gibbs more than just have Montgomery to just run it in.
Yeah, that's true.
Montgomery he'll get 5-6 yards every run.
Yeah,
right through the
straight
middle.
line runner. Yes, exactly. And Gibbs. He's definitely better than I thought. I didn't really watch much of him in Alabama. He was drafted 12th. I'm like, you don't draft a running back 12, but they don't have a lot of needs on the offense, so that turned out to be a good pick. He looks like he could be special, so we'll see. He could end up being a star by the end of the season. We will see. Now, number 2 player to keep an eye on, well, number 3, but number 2 for me. Look, Travis Kelce. He might not even play, but if he does play, keep an eye on him. He's going to be a huge factor in this game. He might end up being the difference in this game. If the Chiefs win this game and Travis Kelce plays, he might be the reason why. So definitely keep an eye on Travis Kelce. Don't really have to say much more about that.
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
It was funny. I was looking at this meme. It's like 10 things that Patrick Mahomes need, and somebody said number 1, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty funny. No, like it's crazy. Is one tight end the reason why your team is so good? A Super Bowl caliber team?
Well, it is the best, could arguably the best tight end of all time.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And you need Super Bowl teams take everyone on the team. People think it's one player, a group of players. Every single person plays a part, and Kelce's a huge part to what the Chiefs do on offense. So
I mean, just for the fact that we're talking about this, my next player is Kadarius Toney. Will he ever play again? Will he catch a ball again? Will he drop a ball again? I don't know.
That's a good one to look out for because a lot of people are going to have their eyes on Kadarius Toney going into
all
this
eyes
week.
on him for sure. Especially if Travis Kelce doesn't play because now
even more so.
He's like, all right, one more time.
I like your creativeness there. That was a good one. Kadarius Toney is a player definitely to watch out for this week because we don't even know
if we can see him.
Yeah, and
hopefully,
if they play, they'll probably play him. But it's just like he's been a bust so far in his career, so it's a little disappointing. Gets hurt a lot. But maybe he'll be motivated after next week to take it a little more seriously, and not that he doesn't take it
Dude,
serious.
I've seen so many memes about it too. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel for him. Like, it's just not his week.
Giants definitely did the right decision trading him, though. I'll give you that. So
I mean, he showed a lot more talent on the Giants than he did.
Yeah, he had the good game in the Super Bowl.
He just wasn't like a locker room player.
No, he's not. It doesn't seem like he is. But I don't want to rag on the guy. Maybe he'll improve with that, especially with Mahomes. So we'll see. Number 3, this is number 5. Obviously, you gotta watch out for Brock Purdy. Like I said, now he's on the MVP track. He's on my MVP tracker. Beep beep beep. It's going off. Okay, so we're gonna be watching out for Brock Purdy right now and Tua. That's my 2 on the MVP radar. You gotta watch out for Purdy right now. He's on fire. He's probably gonna come out firing all cylinders. This Rams defense, like I said, it's all young. Their secondary, they showed promise last week. They surprised, but I don't think they're gonna surprise 2 weeks in a row, especially with this depth on the talent on this offense. So I think Purdy's gonna have a big day, Dylan.
Yeah, I think like if there was in between Tua and Brock Purdy, I feel like I'm leaning more Purdy on this one. Tua just has Tyreek Hill, and it really all shows. Tua had like 400 and something yards. Tyreek Hill had half of that.
Yeah,
he had over 200 yards.
That's a good point, yeah.
So, and obviously Brock Purdy has so much. He has other talent around it, but
he spreads the love.
Exactly,
he spreads the love for sure. Right now, I probably would have to go Tua just because of how great he looked in that game. He was just slinging it. He's just unfazed slinging it. And I just really became high on Tua lately. But all right. It seems like these episodes are getting longer and longer because we just have so much to talk about nowadays. Like, there's so many games going on. The whole Rodgers thing happened, and that's like I'll say it again.
Pray for better weeks.
Yeah, and like I'll say it again as a fellow Jet fan. I'm sorry, guys. Like none of us wanted this to happen. I'm sure even the most hated people that hate the Jet fans didn't want to see this happen. You wanted to see what's going to happen with this guy. Nothing. Like, no one thought after 4 plays he was going to be done for the season. So
I mean, some people predicted it.
I'm sure someone said. I saw like a tweet. Well, now it's X, but there was a post on X saying like, "Oh, watch, he's going to hurt his
Achilles." Yeah, that's kind of funny. No, it's not funny.
It was rough, and the Giants scored 40-0. So
I don't know what's worse.
The Giants are going to step back though. I don't know if the Jets will, but we will see. We will see. So week 2 coming. Dylan, thanks for coming on, guys. See you next week.